guest today is owner and expedition leader of Want Expeditions, Jessica Pociask, who specializes in highly personalized, conservation-oriented small group travel that takes people to see some of the most amazing natural phenomenon on the planet. Jessica, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so how did you get involved in kind of off-the-beaten travel? Where did this come about?
Well, ever since I was a little kid, I was always reading National Geographics. My father had an unbelievable collection, you know, musty, smelly, but full of all these amazing places in the world, and it just absolutely captivated me. So I did quite a bit of travel when I was younger, but once I graduated high school, I started going overseas on my own. And then ultimately when I went to Michigan State University, I studied climate change down in Antarctica. And that really gave me my first full introduction to expedition-style travel. I didn't realize that that was even an option. I had always imagined myself out in the field, like, you know, counting dots on butterflies' wings or something of that sort. And I was like, wow, I can actually guide people and make a career of this. I definitely want to do it.
So you've always had the travel bug.
Yes, yeah.
Good. And that the National Geographic kind of just really pushed it forward.
Yeah, I don't even know if it was like a traveler bug, but just this urge to explore and experience new cultures. The first time I went overseas, I actually played with an orchestra. Big nerd here in that regard. One of the best opportunities of my life. And I just was hooked, you know, experiencing the different people and places and how kind they were, introducing us in and showing them or showing us their culture. It was amazing. And
so was that love of travel kind of, how did that translate into founding Want Expeditions?
Well, after I studied climate change in Antarctica on this expedition vessel, the following season I had the opportunity to go back and work as part of their staff. Mm-hmm. And I realized that there was a real void in the travel industry for taking people to see rare and endangered wildlife. And given my background in biology, I just started to start my company, and it just basically took off overnight.
This sounds just really, really interesting, and my birthday's coming up, and I would like to plan a trip with you. So someone can come to you and say, Jessica, I'd like to bring a group to Botswana.
Yes.
And check out the wildlife. Or I would like to go to South Africa and go to the vineyards.
Yes.
Right here.
Yes.
Or, you know, what are some of the other trips that you've been on?
Well, I've been fortunate enough to take the President and Board of Trustees to their own project the President and Board of Trustees from Wildlife Conservation Society to their own project in Congo and Central African Republic. That's where you can see Western lowland gorillas. Botswana is my all-time favorite destination in the world.
Is it really?
Yeah. If you want an experience that is as close to everything that you see on Discovery Channel, National Geographic, you know, these really hardcore animal shows, that's the place to do it, where you can get that close to the wildlife. It's unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah.
Is Victoria Falls in Botswana?
It actually borders Zambia and Zimbabwe, so it's pretty close.
Okay.
It's just a hop, skip, and a jump from the Okavango Delta, which is the best place to go.
That just sounds just so amazing. So do you do kind of all kinds of people take your trips, from the kind of novice traveler all the way up to, you know, scientists and everyone in between? You can cater a personalized trip for them. Yeah, so about 60% of our clientele comes from North America. The other 40% comes from across the world. Mm-hmm. A lot of them are professional to amateur photographers, definitely hardcore animal lovers, and also those that just definitely have a very serious travel bug. You know, I wouldn't necessarily put them in a novice category. You know, they've got roughly 25 countries under their belt, and they're ready to get into it and have a really rich, deep experience. And they know, like, the art of travel, that getting there is half the journey. So they're not necessarily, they're prepared for a long, bumpy ride, dust, all the things that can come in between to get us into these amazing places and have these incredible experiences. Well, it must be a lot of preparation to organize these expeditions.
Yeah.
So tell me about kind of how you even put together logistically all of the things that go into one of your expeditions.
Well, I definitely tap into the guides that work for me. They're some of the most amazing, talented people truly in their industry. Like, one of them is one of the top wildlife artists of North America. Her name is Sharon Schaefer. Out of this world. She's worked all over, specializes in desert ecosystems. So either herself or myself or the two of us will go and spend about 2 years basically combing every detail of a trip to make sure we have our routes nailed down, an amazing infrastructure, very close ties with the local people and organizations that we're working with so that we give you the most authentic experience as possible. There's no song and dance, there's no sort of preconceived, pre-planned, prepackaged tour. It's all built from the ground up, catered to have you have the best experience.
That sounds fantastic. So you mentioned Botswana is one of your favorite places that you've ever been to. What is another one of your favorite places, and also what's kind of on your wish list to go to?
So one of my all-time favorite places that I really think anyone should go to is the Galapagos. If you're young, if you're old, if you're into adventure, if you're into animals, if you just simply want to snorkel, I mean, it captivates everyone anywhere. It's a great family trip, it's a great couples trip, and it's mind-blowing. You can't have a bad time there.
It kind of also looks like you're on another planet there.
Yes, it's amazing. The wildlife, and then who doesn't like spending a week on a boat, you know?
I do. Jessica, where can people find more information?
They can go to www.wantexpeditions.com. They can also find us at that same name on our Facebook or Instagram page.
Well, I will be checking it out shortly because I'm planning my trip. Thank you so much for
Thanks
being
for
here.
having me. Hope to travel with you soon.
You will. What destinations offer the best value this month? Galen has the answer coming up on this week's edition of The Go, powered by Trivago.com. We'll be right back after a quick break.
Stay connected to the Jet Set from wherever you are in the world. Download the Jet Set app today and fly with us via social media. You may even land on the show.